Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being on the webinar. Queen, thank you for taking those introductions. And Huey sends his apologies. Listen, if you're going to say hello to me, please make sure you include Queen, because I'm the one that has to take the brunt of it when you don't say, hey, Queen. All right. To all of our guests, welcome. If this is your first time on our webinars, welcome. We're going to have about 75 minutes or so of quality content, no swinging around the chandeliers. Going to give you some very powerful content tonight, if you will allow it, can radically change your financial life. Our objective tonight is to reveal to you a believable path for you and your family becoming Bitcoin, or what we like to refer to as DIGIs, short for digital currencies, okay? We're going to show you a believable path. My very dear friend down there in Panama for a spell, Boomy, to you becoming a Digi Millionaire, leveraging our 5-step Digi Millionaire roadmap. Now, I want you to do me a favor. I know that in this day and age of the internet, that people's time, their attention spans are really, really short. I need you to clear off all distractions, no texting, no Facebooking, no Instagramming, all that stuff. Let's set that aside, because the information that we're going to share on tonight, if you will allow it, will radically change your financial life. But if you are getting caught up in being busy as opposed to being productive, you could miss it. Okay? All right, so this entire space known as Bitcoin, had we known, my gosh, Boomy, had we known just how big this space would be. $100 invested in Bitcoin back in 2010, that's only been 7 years ago, would be worth over $75 million today. My gosh, Danielle, had we known. Now, this is as of May 23rd. That's when Bitcoin was going for $2,200 a coin. Excuse me, $2,200 a coin. We've seen Bitcoin hit a hike of about 5,000 a coin. Over the past couple of weeks, we had a nice downdraft, very healthy correction in the market, brought Bitcoin all the way down to just under 3,000 last Thursday. When we were on a webinar, she was going for $31.99. Friday morning, she was going for just under 3,000, and now she's back up to the $4,000 level. So Bitcoin now, if you had invested $100 in Bitcoin back in 2010, given the current pricing, you'd be well over $120 million in Digi asset value from $100 investment. As a matter of fact, the very first Bitcoin transaction was someone purchasing 2 Papa John's pizzas. I have an affinity for Papa John's. I used to work for them. Used to deliver pizzas for them. And boy, I love their cheese sticks. But it ain't worth 10,000 Bitcoins, because 10,000 Bitcoins now would be over $40 million. What a very expensive meal. That was the first transaction when Bitcoin was going for 3/10 of a penny. So if you're new and you're new to this space, you might be saying, well, what the heck is Bitcoin? Well, it is among other things, it is a form of digital currency. It's created and it is held electronically. However, there's something much bigger at play. There's something that is referred to as blockchain technology. Now, I won't try to explain what blockchain, oh my gosh, did you hear the lyrical miracleness? I won't try to explain what blockchain, my gosh, that boy is talented, is, because it gets a little technical, but understand it is a technological advancement that they are saying is just as powerful as the internet itself. Now, I want you to think that through. What else has radically impacted really the world like the internet? And they're saying this blockchain technology that Bitcoin is built upon is as life-changing as the internet itself. Now, from a pure currency standpoint, Bitcoin is a form of digital currency. It is created and it is held electronically. And the key here is that no one controls it. So there is no government, there is no big company. There is no Federal Reserve that controls it, that can manipulate it. It is the currency of the people. Now, why do merchants and more and more and more and more merchants are coming on with Bitcoin? By the way, there is a rumor, all right? It's a rumor. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. There is a rumor that by the end of October, that Amazon could start taking Bitcoin. If that happens, of course, Amazon being the, I think it's the second largest online retailer outside of Alibaba, that would really introduce Bitcoin to a much larger audience, okay? Now, right now, Bitcoin is used all across the globe. Retailers love Bitcoin because it answers a couple of major, or addresses, I should say, a couple of major challenges that retailers deal with. Number one, every time you swipe that credit card, that retailer is charged by Visa or MasterCard or American Express or Discover. And depending on the size of that company, that could be tens of millions of dollars in credit card charges a year. Bitcoin and other digital assets all but eliminate that. The transaction fees are nominal compared to your Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. Number two, and the bigger of the two, is that Bitcoin and other digital assets all but eliminate things like credit card fraud, and I was thinking of something else, but that word has just escaped me, okay? But credit card fraud is almost, credit card fraud costs retailers, costs companies tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, perhaps even into the billions each year. Well, with Bitcoin, there's not going to be that fraud, nor is it going to be, this is the word I was looking for, chargebacks. A few years ago, we were promoting, we've been in the investment arena since 1994, started trading in the stock market actively in 1999. And since that time, from stock market to foreign exchange market to binary options, now our focus is on the DIGI space. We've been in investing and marketing since 94. A few years ago, there was this amazing concept that came to the marketing space, and I thought it was going to be really huge, because what you would do, is you would pay a small monthly subscription. You'd go online and you could order virtually all your non-perishable items, all right, that you would normally get at your local Walmart or what have you. And the prices were just as good, and in some cases even better than what you would get going to your local stores. And it would be shipped right to you. It was almost like Amazon meeting the network marketing arena. And I just knew this was going to be huge. And Susie, all of a sudden, that company was no more. And I didn't know why. And I found out later on, a couple of years afterwards, that the reason that company went out of business is because they were victims of credit card theft and fraud. So some bad guy Ed's got a hold of a bunch of credit cards, made a lot of charges, had products shipped, earned some commissions, and then they charged it all back. And the company couldn't withstand $11 million in 1 month of chargebacks. That is virtually eliminated with digital assets. So more and more and more, you are able to buy things with Bitcoin, online and offline. Very good friends of ours down in Panama, Zeke and Jerry Stewart. Zeke sent me a picture of him in Panama standing beside a Bitcoin ATM machine all the way down there in Panama. All right, now, why do we love using Bitcoin? Why should you want to use Bitcoin and other digital assets? Well, how about privacy? There's no financial privacy in the traditional banking structure now. And depending on the type of business you're doing, you could wind up almost facing an inquisition. A few years ago, we were promoting a particular offer, and boy, I mean, it kicked butt. It just absolutely kicked the fanny. And we made more money than we'd ever made before. So we actually had more money sitting in the bank than we'd ever made before. And so we were starting to diversify. We were looking to do some things internationally. We wanted to have an Amazon business, a fulfillment by Amazon business. We wanted to source some products out of China. So we did some international wires. And every time we went to go do an international wire, we got an inquisition. We wanted to pull out. We wanted to withdraw a certain amount of funds. And, you know, they grilled us. And I'm like, you didn't ask me these questions when I put the money in the bank. Why are you asking me all these questions to get my own money out of the bank? I mean, it was, boy, talk about frustrating. Well, you don't have to ask anybody's permission when you deal with Bitcoin. If you want to send $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 worth of Digi value to someone for a product or a service or what have you, you can do it, and you don't have to get anybody's permission to be able to do so. So that's a little bit about why merchants love it, a little bit about why people are using it. Now, let's get you on your journey to becoming a Digi millionaire. They are saying that Bitcoin price will hit $250,000 a coin by 2020. By the way, if you're new, you don't have to buy a full coin. As a matter of fact, you'll never even have a physical coin. It's all digital, but you don't have to buy a full coin. US dollars, for instance, are denominated in 0.01. So you've got a dollar, but you can also work in cents, right? 0.01 is 1 penny, 0.07 is 7 pennies, so on and so forth. Well, Bitcoin is denominated. You've got your decimal, and then you've got 8 spaces beyond the decimal. So 0.0000001. All right, so you don't have, you can buy a fraction of 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 a Bitcoin. But they are saying that Bitcoin will hit $250,000 per coin as early as 2020 if the 7-year trend continues. What's the 7-year trend? This gentleman by the name of Jameson Lopp, he's really big in the Bitcoin space. He's a software engineer in the Bitcoin space. What he did is he looked at the average daily value change of Bitcoin since 2010, every single day. Now, the Bitcoin markets, or what we call the Digi markets, they are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Unlike the stock markets, they don't close on the weekend. Unlike the Forex market, they don't close for a day and a half each week. The Digi space is open 24 hours a day. So there's always the opportunity to buy and sell, and prices are ever changing. Back in 2010, for instance, the average daily change was 0.82%. You'd hardly get 0.82% a year in your savings account. 0.82% a day. Now, there were days when it was higher. There were days when it was lower. It's volatile. It goes up. It goes down. It can have some really big swings up and down. But on average, 0.82% a day. Look at 2011. Look at 2012. Look at 2013. Now, we're hearing all this talk about the U.S. stock market hitting all-time highs, all-time highs, all-time highs. And yet, if you go back to 2008 at the trough, at the bottom of the market after the real estate meltdown, you would find out that the U.S. stock market from 2008 up to its highs went up about 300%. And here, Bitcoin in 1 year, 2013, was up well over 300%. Only 1 year, 2014, did it have a losing year. Okay, so what Jameson is saying is that if we just get the same average rate of return on a daily basis in Bitcoin by the end of 2020, Bitcoin would be at $250,000 a coin. So here's a quick way to become a Digi millionaire if Jameson is right. Now, he may be right on the amount, 250,000. He might be off on the time frame. Could happen before, could happen later. Quick way to become a Digi millionaire. Make sure you've got 4 Bitcoins, so if it gets to $250,000 a coin, I saw the other day, someone else was calling, not necessarily by 2020, they were calling by 2025, $1 million per coin. Now, I want you to think that through, because 2025 is a little more than 7 years away. Is that right? Yep. a little more than 7 years away. Well, if we had had $100 in Bitcoin 7 years ago, we'd be worth over $100 million right now. None of us would be on this webinar. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this space, because it's not just Bitcoin. It's not just Bitcoin. There are now well over 900 of these digital assets out there in the marketplace. And with some of the top performing coins, some of them kick the butt of Bitcoin. Now, take a look real quickly between April the 30th and May the 10th. We're talking an 11-day period. Bitcoin, BTC is its trading symbol, all right, was up 34%. But in that same time frame, there's another asset called Ripple, XRP is its trading symbol, was up 238%. What does that mean? If you had $1,000 in Ripple, during that 11-day time frame, your $1,000 would have made $2,380 in profits. Look at XLM. XLM is Stellar Lumens, up 489%. What does that mean? If you'd have had $1,000 in Stellar Lumens in 11 days, your $1,000 would have made $4,890 in profit. So it's not just Bitcoin. Okay. Now let me tell you what. Let's talk about our 5-step Digi Millionaire roadmap right now. Okay. 5 steps. Step number 1 is Digi education. We need to get some education. We need to understand, well, how do I go from fiat money, my cash money, into Digi? How do I buy Bitcoin? How do I buy some of these other Digi assets? Then in time, obviously, you want to maybe convert back to fiat money to pay some bills and things of that nature. All right, so we have a live webinar every week, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where our focus is on what we call Digi Basics. We record those webinars and we place them in our back office. We'll talk about our back office in just a few moments. Number 2, the best way for you to become a Digi Millionaire is for you to own your own coin portfolio, own and control your own coin portfolio. I'm going to prove that without a shadow of a doubt in the next few moments, that the best way for you to become a Digi Millionaire is for you to own and control your own portfolio. And we're going to show you how we're going to assist you in developing your own coin portfolio. Number 3 is to participate in one or more of our auto Digi profit systems. And we're going to highlight one of those systems on tonight. I want to focus on owning your own coin portfolio first. And then in the second part of the webinar, we'll talk about one of our auto Digi profit systems. These are designed to get you developing Digi profits as little as 24 hours from the time that you initiate that particular system. And they're also designed to help you develop a meaningful monthly cash flow, develop a monthly coin portfolio budget, and even a marketing budget. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. In time, we're going to help you to build a team of folks that are leveraging these systems, because that's going to help fast forward your journey. It's going to allow you to earn some commissions, and with those commissions, you'll be able to put some in your pocket. You'll be able to add to your coin portfolio. You'll be able to compound in some of these auto Digi profit systems, do some marketing, so on and so forth. And then as you become an intimate follower of us, we are immersed in this space. So things are going to come up that we don't know anything about right now. Some of you might come across something that we're not aware of. You'll say, hey, take a look at this Digi opportunity. We'll take a look at it. We'll investigate. We'll vet. And if we believe it is something that's good for our audience, we'll share it. And that will allow you to diversify your Digi assets even more, as well as diversify your potential income. Now, let's talk about you developing your own coin portfolio and share with you how we're going to assist you. So real quickly, let's show you something that you can do all on your own. And this is going to help set this up, why you want to own and control your own coin portfolio. We use a site, we use it religiously, called coinmarketcap.com. Let me go and refresh the screen so we can get the best pricing right now. Okay, coinmarketcap.com. Now, let me show you just how powerful this DIGI space is. Now, right now, the prevailing price of Bitcoin is $3,914.32. And you can see right now, over the last 24 hours, it's down 3.21%. Remember, Jameson Lopp looked at the average daily change. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Sometimes it's up a little bit, sometimes it's down a little bit. Sometimes it's up a lot, sometimes it's down a lot, okay? 3.21% for the day. But here's what we're going to do. All right, I want to look at what were prices about this time last year, so we can get a sense of, had you and I just parked some money in Bitcoin, what it would have meant, even with the ebbs and flows of the market, what it would have meant a year later. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up another tab, coinmarketcap.com. We're going to go to where it says tools, and then where it says historical snapshots. And today is September the 19th in my part of the world. So we are going to go down to September in 2016 and find as close to a correlation as we can. Today, September 19th, we're going to go back to September 18th, 2016. Left click there. And you will see here were the prices as of a year ago. All right, or a year and a day ago, okay? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the prevailing price right now. So the prevailing price right now is $3,914.32, okay? We're going to subtract out what the price was a year ago. A year ago, the price was $606.85, and this is going to tell us, had we purchased Bitcoin a year ago at $606.85, and let's say we just held on to it, all right, forgot about it, came back, heard about this webinar, came on the webinar and said, oh, yeah, what's that Bitcoin thing? What's it doing, okay? Now it's going for $39, and what do we say, $39.14.32. So this is going to tell us how much profit we would have made per coin, all right? We would have made $3,307.47 of profit per coin. Now, we want to find out what our rate of return would have been. When I first got in this industry back in 1994, I did it because my parents got laid off and they had saved a lot of money but didn't have a lot of money saved. I couldn't figure that out. How do you save a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you don't have a lot of money saved up? Because no one had taught them about investing. So when I heard about investing and how that helps to multiply your money, it wasn't just about business for me, because I knew nothing about business. I was a kid, I was 24, but I wanted to get my securities license, and we did, to be able to market mutual funds and teach people about investing. So I've loved this investing arena since 1994. Way back then, our best mutual fund that we would promote to folks had averaged 18% a year. And if you know what the rule of 72 is, you take the number 72, divide it by what you're getting on your investment. The answer tells you how long it takes your money to double. 18% a year, your money doubles every 4 years. Not bad, actually pretty good. Well, look at this. Look at this. If you took the $3,307 and divided it by what you would have started off with in this hypothetical scenario, potential situation, all of my disclaimers, okay, divided by 606.85, you come up with 5.45. What the heck does that mean? Move that decimal 2 points to the right, and that tells you what your rate of return would have been for a year. 545%. Or in other words, your Bitcoin value would have increased by 5 times. Let's say you had $1,000 that you invested a year ago in Bitcoin, multiply it times 5.45, which represents 545%, your $1,000 worth of Bitcoin would have made $5,450. Boy, that kicks the butt of my mutual fund at 18%, where it would have taken 4 years at 18% a year for your money to double. Here, your money quintupled in a year's time. But it's not just Bitcoin. What we do on a monthly basis is we go through and we look at some of the top assets, and we do what you just saw me do. We look at where's the prevailing price now? What was it a year ago? What would my rate of return have been had I invested in that asset? So I want to go back, because the last time we did this is on September the 12th. Again, we do this about once a month. And we look back at September the 11th of 2016. What was Bitcoin going for then? 623.33. What was it selling for on September the 12th? 41.16. So it's down slightly since we did this. All right. What was the rate of return on Bitcoin in that 12-month time frame? 560%. But it's not just Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum went from almost $12, $11.98 a coin, to $2.90. One of our folks bought Ethereum for about $10 a coin, rolled it up to about $300 when they took some profits over $100,000 in profits. A 2,323% return. We've never seen anything like this. Not just Bitcoin. $1,000 invested in Ethereum a year ago would have made $23,225 in profits. What about Ripple? $34,600 bucks, because it was the 3,460% return. Litecoin, 1542. Now this one, Steam, did 68%. If I had a mutual fund in my mutual fund selling days that did 68%, that fund and the fund manager would be on top of every major financial publication there is. But in the Bitcoin space, in the DIGI space, a 68% return for the year is quite disappointing. The reason we have to immerse ourselves in this space is because it allows us to compress time frames. So many of us are behind. We're behind on retirement. We're either at retirement, don't have enough. We're closing in on retirement, don't have enough. We're behind on our children's college education. We're behind on what we want to be able to do in terms of leaving a legacy for our loved ones and funding charitable organizations. Some of us are like me, in that in between. I'm a tweener. My parents are still alive, thank goodness, but they're in their mid approaching late 70s. I want to make sure that the golden years are golden and not tarnished. Meanwhile, I'm in my mid 40s. So, you know, I don't plan on working much longer. I plan on actually working for the next 3 years and being retired after that. But if I was just in the traditional way of things, I'd be looking at retirement 20 years from now. But I still have a daughter at home that we're preparing for college. So it's the triple squeeze. We have to have some type of vehicle that allows us to make up for some time, for some lost time. If you need to make up for some lost time, put in the questions box, make up. I need to make up for some lost time. I need to make up for some lost time. Put it in your questions box. I want to see who else needs to make up. You need something faster than a mutual fund. You need something faster than a stock. You need something faster than your traditional investments. There we go. We got to make up some time. Look at this real quickly. Look at this asset. NIM, it was half of a penny. It's now 24 cents, almost 25 cents. As of September the 12th, 4,100%. $1,000 would have been 41,214 bucks. So if we took these 20 assets that we researched, and if you had put $1,000 into each of those 20 assets, $20,000, a year later, your $20,000 account would be $293,000. And you might say, well, that sounds good, but I don't have 1,000 times 20 or 20,000 bucks. Hey, $2,000, take off this last number, would have been 29,000. Where else? We've never seen anything like this. We've never seen anything like this. Now, how long will we see these type of explosive returns? I don't know. I think we've got some time, but listen, let's not wait on this thing. Let's not play around with this thing. Let's get in this space. Now, what are we going to do to assist you? Another lyrical miracle. What are we going to do to assist you? What are we going to do to assist you in developing your own coin portfolio? You want to have a portfolio of a number of these digi assets that you own, that you control, so that you can benefit from the potential appreciation and sometimes very explosive appreciation of these assets. Well, we have a system that we call CRB DIGI Millionaires. And as a part of our system, now originally, to have access to what I'm about to talk to you about was going to be $130 a month, which is certainly not enough. It is, my concern is that people would devalue even $130 a month. Years ago, we were promoting a system that had a stock market system, phenomenal system. Between 2003 and 2006, that company paid me at my height $15,000 a month just to be a trainer for them. We had a great stock market guy. He had a trading system, and his system was averaging about a 60% annual return. Okay, and in order to get access to that system, it was $130 a month, and it was well worth every single penny. Well, what we've done is we've said, you know what, we want everyone, because we've got a lot of people that follow us around the globe, that $130 in US dollar terms is a really big amount in the Dominican Republic. It's a really big amount in South Africa. It's a really big amount in many parts of South America. And we want to be able to impact as many people as we possibly can with this message. All right, so what happens is you can take a $1 test drive of our system, and thereafter, right now, if you act before the end of the month, it's just $30 a month thereafter. If you wait until October, it'll be $49.95 a month. Either way, way too cheap. Don't devalue it, okay? One of the things that we do is every week we have a live trading lab. We go into the markets live. Now, when I say trading lab, I don't mean that we're sitting there looking at charts and all this technical mumbo jumbo, stochastics and MACD and Bollinger Bands. Forget all that crap. What we're doing is we're looking to trade to build a coin portfolio. So what we'll do in our trading labs, we do this on Thursday nights, and we record them. What we'll do in our trading lab is we will analyze one, maybe two assets that we want to have in our coin portfolio. We may already have it in ours, and we'll analyze one, maybe two assets, so you'll understand why we want to choose this asset. Why would we want to have Bitcoin in our coin portfolio? Why would we want to have Ethereum? So we don't want people just going to CoinMarketCap and saying, oh, you know, close my eyes, throwing money at the market and see which digi asset that we're going to choose. If you just buy a digi asset because it's cheap, all right, for instance, I can tell you, yeah, I want Ethereum in my coin portfolio. However, what's the likelihood of Ethereum over the next 12 months doing another 2,323% return? Not likely. All right, all you got to do is do some math. All you got to do is do some math. If we took Ethereum right now at $290.22 and it did another 2,323%, that means that Ethereum would have to gain $6,741 in value to do a 23%, 2,300% return in the next 12 months. Well, what's the likelihood of that happening? Can it happen? Yeah. But Bitcoin's not even trading at that amount. So one of the things that we're looking to do is unearth assets that perhaps you've never even heard of. I can tell you many of these assets, even on this page, I've never even heard of until I begin to immerse myself in this space. So we're going to take the last, since 1999 that we've been trading, we're going to take that experience. We also follow a few other folks. We follow a team of ex-Wall Street insiders. And we take a look at what they're talking about, and then we send them through our own filters. We'll share with you what our own filters happen to be. This past week, for instance, we shared one digi asset for you to consider to put into your coin portfolio that sits August of 2015 is up 8,000%. 8,000%. And we shared our entry price. Where would we be buying this? What would our exit strategy be on this? Some of these assets we're going to buy and just hold for the long term. Some of these assets we're going to buy and we're going to look to get a quicker profit, maybe a 5%, 4%, maybe a 20% return, what have you. We also introduced another asset that in 2.5 years, a 67,000% return. But this particular asset is still priced under $4 a coin. We're going to talk more about that particular asset this coming Thursday, because we didn't get a chance to really get into the meat of what I wanted to cover this past Thursday. So our point is, when you become a part of our CRB DIGI Millionaire system, among other things, you're going to get access to our live trading labs. No, you're not going to have to look at charts all day. You'll be able to come into the lab. If you can't make the lab, we're going to record the lab for you. We're going to post it in your back office. And then you'll be able to go and check out what we talked about and what assets we discussed that particular lab. Where would our entry prices be? We'll give you a range. So you don't have to be right in front of the computer. You don't have to worry about, did I miss an opportunity? No, we'll give you a range. We'll say, hey, we're willing to buy this asset up to, let's say, $4 a coin. This particular asset that I'm talking about right now is trading at $3.16. It was trading at $2.96 on Thursday. Right before we got on the webinar, it was trading at $3.16. We're willing to buy it all the way up to $4. But that one asset is up 67,000%. $100 would have been $67,000 in 2.5 years. $1,000 would have been over $670,000 in 2.5 years. All right, so when we get off the webinar, you're going to get back to the person who referred you. You're going to say, give me your CRB DIGI Millionaire link. Let me take my $1 test drive for 7 days. That gives you plenty of time to come in. Come on our Thursday night live webinar. Watch our previous webinars that we've already posted. And you'll know within 7 days whether or not we're just talking or whether we're bringing the goods. You know already that we're bringing the goods. Matter of fact, if you were on before we got the webinar started, you heard the golden silky vocals. You knew it then that we were bringing the goods. Hello, darling. Nice to see you. Been a long time. Woo! Boy, some Conway Twitty. I love me some Conway Twitty. All right, now let's go into the second part of the webinar. Okay, so one of the things that we teach in our webinars is we teach how to do some quick financial analysis. And you saw us do it with Bitcoin. All right, well, we click on to Bitcoin, and actually you didn't see us do this, but we can go and click on the Bitcoin, and we can come down here and click on historical data. We can then come down here and we can choose all time. And what this will do is we can take the current prevailing price of $39.22.58, put that in a calculator. Excuse me. We can scroll all the way down and see what was the price of Bitcoin, what was the price of this asset when it was first introduced to coinmarketcap.com. Now, does it mean that this is when the asset was born? We know that Bitcoin was born in 2009, but it did not hit coinmarketcap.com until 2013. Give me just a moment. I can't see past my webinar pane here, so I'm waiting so I can pull it all the way down. So we're going to go back to April 28th, I believe, is when this showed up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Bear with me. I wish I could, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so one of the things that we teach in our labs is to do a quick financial analysis. So Bitcoin is going for $39.22.58 right now. But back here on April 28th, 2013, it was going for $135.30. So if we were to subtract out $135.30, we come up with our potential profit. Just the same thing that we did just a few moments ago. We divide that by what our starting price could have been, 135.30, and this tells us what our rate of return would have been now since April 28, 2013. You move this decimal 2 places to the right, Bitcoin is up almost 2,800%. Essentially, your money would have grown 28 times. Your $1,000 would be worth $28,000 as an example, okay? Had we just put $1,000 in Bitcoin way back then. All right, so now one of the things that we do when we're looking to build our coin portfolio is we'll do that quick analysis. Well, a few months ago, we were going through some of the top assets on what I like to refer to as the big board. All right, I like to refer to CoinMarketCap as the big board. And we were also doing some other internet research as we were immersing ourselves in this space, and we came across a particular DIGI asset. This asset is called BitConnect, and you can see right now it ranks in the top 13. By the way, on here, these rankings are based on what's called market cap. Market cap is simply if you take the number of coins on the marketplace, it refers to them as tokens very often, multiply it times the current price. The answer to that equation gives you the market cap. And so it ranks these assets based on how big they are based on the market cap. So Bitcoin is a $65 billion market cap. Ethereum is a $26 billion market cap, so on and so forth. All right, so we started looking at this particular asset back in late May called BitConnect. At the time, it was ranked between 18 and 21. Over the past 2 months, it has consistently been in the top 15. So we did the same thing. We do a left click right here. We take a look at the prevailing price, $117.69. All right, and then we come down and we look at historical data, and then we choose all time. This is something you can do all on your own. This is why I'm showing you these steps. We want to teach you how to fish. All right, so now I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I want to see, when did BitConnect appear on the big board? Does it mean that's when it was born? Actually, BitConnect had an ICO, initial coin offering, last November. They've got a big shindig. We'll have our presence there in Thailand this time, almost this time next month, October the 28th. We're due to be in Thailand for their big annual shindig. So look forward to hearing more about BitConnect from the shindig there, okay? All right, it showed up on the big board January 20th of this year. We're talking 8 months ago for 16 cents. Let's do the same math. It's going from 117.69, subtract out the 16 cents. Profit, 117 bucks. We divide that by what we could have started with had we only known. And we come up with a rate of return of a gargantuan, move our decimal 2 places to the right, 72,000% in 8 months. We have never, ever seen anything like this. 72,000%. Your money would have grown 722 times. A mere $100 just in the BitConnect coin. 8 months later would have been $72,000. $100. $1,000, ladies and gentlemen, in the BitConnect coin. If you just held on to it through that with its ebbs and flows, ups and downs, would have been $722,000. If you are seeing DIGI millionaire status, put a DM in your questions box. If you're seeing DIGI millionaire status, if your vision's being stretched, if you've got some hope that maybe you didn't have before you came on the webinar, put a DM. DIGI millionaire status. My gosh, we've never seen anything like this. Matter of fact, tell you what, I love travel. Don't send me anything about a travel opportunity. I love nutrition. Don't send me anything about a nutrition network marketing opportunity. My focus is on this space to get you and your family to DIGI millionaire status. Never seen anything like this. Never seen anything like this. Now, so we went and so we started doing some research. What is this BitConnect thing all about? And we found that they have a very unique proposition. BitConnect really exists so that you and I and others can increase our DIGI asset base. And there's 4 ways that you can make money with BitConnect. Because of time, I'm only going to cover one of those right now. And this is the BitConnect lending platform. This is where now you become the bank. You get to lend to them. Now, keep this in mind. The people behind the BitConnect coin likely retain a bunch of those coins for themselves. If it were me, I would have retained at least 1 million coins for me. So if my coin ever got to $1, if I was the person behind, if we did a DIGI Millionaire coin, DMC coin, okay, I would keep at least 1 million. So if it ever got to $1, I'd be a DIGI Millionaire. I might keep 10 million. If it ever got to $1, I'd be worth $10 million. So I don't know what they kept, but with a current price of $117 a coin, if they kept $1 million, they got $117 million net worth just in the coin. If they kept half of that, they've got over $50 million of net worth just in the coin. So here's what happens. They have a trading bot. Now, we don't know what they're trading. They could be trading their own coin. All right. I have seen on some exchanges where you could go and buy BitConnect coin for $1 or $2 less on another exchange, and then come to BitConnect and sell it for $1, $2 higher. I see that almost every day. Every day I'm looking for it, I see it. All right. So they could be trading their own coin. They could be trading other coins. They could be participating in ICOs, initial coin offerings. We often see ICOs that hit the market where maybe at the ICO price before it hit the market, it was $1. Then it hits the market, and all of a sudden it's $4 or $5 or $6. There was one ICO called District something or another. I forget the name of it. It did 10 times, I think, the first week. So they could be doing some of that. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, if you will lend us some of your assets, we will pay you interest on a daily basis. And that, ladies and gentlemen, can be extremely lucrative, is extremely lucrative for our members. So this is how this works. You get a variable interest rate. There is no set interest rate each day. It varies. Some days it's higher, some days it's lower. We've had a few days where there really was no interest rate for that day. Okay? And I'll show you how that works in a few moments. There are 4 tiers of lending. Each one of these tiers has its own contract. If you were to lend, the minimum lend initially is $100. Okay? After you've done your initial lend of $100, then you can re-lend as little as $10. But right now, the initial lend is at least $100. So from $100 to $1,000 lend, your lend amount is going to be committed for a 299-day period, 10 months. But you're going to get paid a variable interest every single day based on the volatility of the markets. The more the markets move up or down, the more you make. The more stable the markets, if it didn't move that much that day, the smaller amount you're going to make. I want to show you how this looks in just a few moments. Let's say you did a lend of $1,010 to $5,000. So if you're going to lend $1,000, add another $10 to it, because 2 things happen. One, you get a set amount of bonus interest each day, 0.10%. So the variable interest rate is the same across the board, across all users. So let's say, for nice round numbers, that they paid out 1% for the day. But if your lend amount was $1,010 to $5,000, you would get your 1% variable plus your 0.10, or you would have earned 1.1% for the day. Plus, your capital hold is now reduced by a couple of months. Instead of 299 days, it's 239 days, about 8 months. $5,010 to a $10,000 lend. Don't lend $5,000. Add the other $10 to it so that you get the extra bonus of 0.2% a day. So if it was a 1% across the board for the day, you would have earned 1.2% on your $5,010 and up lend. Plus your capital's on hold for 6 months, 179 days. For 179 days, you're earning day after day after day, 7 days a week, a variable interest rate plus your 0.2. And then the grand poobah package, $10,010 lend to $100,000. You get 0.25% bonus interest every day. So even if we have a day where there was no variable interest because the market didn't move enough, you would still earn 0.25% for the day. and your capital is on hold for 120 days. So let me show you how this works. And by the way, this link and this calculator is going to be in your CRB back office. Okay? All right, so now, first thing, bear with me. All right, okay, so I think we're okay now, hopefully. All right, so here's how this works. So you can see that back on the 16th and the 17th, the markets must have had some really nice moves in the market. Whether they were up or down, it doesn't really matter. It's just the movement of the market. It's the volatility that allows us to make money in trading ourselves and our coin portfolio, as well as with BitConnect. 1.91%, that's huge. 1.86%, that's huge. The last couple of days, including, I'm saying today, they're saying that today is at 1.76. That's because they are somewhere in Asia, and so their clocks resets sooner than my clock resets in my part of the world. 0.2, 0.02, so not much interest on that was applied there. 1.76% will be credited over the next 24 hours, and then 24 hours after that, 1.39%. So let me show you this. Hopefully this will act right. All right, so for instance, we can see that on the 17th of September, very little movement in the market, all right? A negative 0.14%. So when we come up here and we look, that was on the, what date was that? That was on the 17th, all right? So when we come up here, it's 2 days in arrears. We see that there wasn't much interest that was paid out on the 19th. There's 2 days in arrears, all right? However, on the 18th, which was our time on yesterday, big move in the market, 10.91%, all right, happened to be up that day. So what is our payment going to be tomorrow? 1.76%, much higher return. Now, here's what we like to do at this particular page is I like to look at the last 6 months. That gives us a better feel for how the average daily interest has been going. All right, so we're going to play around with these 4 tiers. All right, so we're going to put in the first tier, $100 to $1,000. I'm going to do $100, okay? And we know that with this tier, you are at a 299-day contract, if you will. All right, and let's click where it says calculate. And what this is going to show you is what your profit would be if you average 0.89% a day, as we've averaged the past 6 months, okay? But this is not factoring any compounding whatsoever. You're going to, we'll share with you, not necessarily today, but inside of our system, we'll share with you compounding strategies that will help explode these numbers even more. This has nothing to do with any commissions at this point, okay? This is simply $100 earning an average of 0.89 a day over 299 days. You would have earned, in this case, $266 in pure profit. Your return on investment would have been a 266% return. Today it was interesting. I was watching, we were working on our marketing series that we'll be launching here real soon. And I happened to see a video of a naysayer of BitConnect. And the guy was saying, you know, how can they afford to pay, you know, what amounts to be like a 300% or so return? Well, he should come to our webinars, right? Because he would know that if you took the coin itself that's going for 117, 18, 19, 116 bucks, and it debuted at 16 cents, that the coin is up 77 or 70 some odd %. Can they afford to pay us less than a 1% a day on average if just from the own coin they're up 77,000% in 8 months? Be careful when you are doing your research and you have people that are just always foo-fooing on stuff, because some of those people only foo-fooey on stuff because they know that negative headlines will get clicks, and then they try to get you to go to something else that they're promoting, or they're making money on advertising because they've got a Google AdSense account or what have you. Just be careful. Do your own due diligence, but just be careful out there, okay? All right, so at the end of the term, your $100 would be returned. And we're not even talking about any compounding right here. Let's go to the next tier, 1,010 bucks. And we're going to notice something, all right? One, our term would change to 239 days. And when we click on calculate, you're going to notice plus 0.10 popping up here, because on your $1,010 win, you would earn that extra 0.10% every single day. And look at that. At the end of 8 months, your 1010, based on the average interest rate, has profited you $2,389.76. A 236% return. You might say, well, shoot, I got a higher return with my 100. Well, that's because your 100 was earning for 269 days versus 239. If we put 269 here, I'm sorry, 299, excuse me, this should be 269. Did I have 269? I was wrong there. All right, this should have been 269, not 239. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm having a brain freeze here. It's 239. 239, okay? So we were right the first time. Now, if this was going out for 299 days, you would have had a higher return. All right, so hopefully you're seeing that. Hopefully you're seeing that, okay? Now let's go to the 5,010. You're going to notice that this is going to turn to 0.20, and your term is 179 days. Wow. In 6 months, your $5,000 has begotten in profit $9,775. In 6 months, without a daily compounding, which we would strongly recommend you consider doing, you would be up at $14,785 when your principal is returned. I want to do something here, all right, just to give you an idea. If I'm not telling you to compound for a year, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to do that. But let's say somebody did that and they said, okay, at the end of my 6 months, I'm going to take everything that I've earned up to that point and my original 5,010, I'm going to commit that. Well, what would happen is that it would be over your $10,000 mark, and this extra interest would change, and you'd see, look at that, my gosh, 5,000 becoming maybe 45,000. That's 9 times. Now, the reason we love, I'm sorry?
Change the number of days, 120.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do that simply because I wanted to show the end of 12 months. And, you know, obviously a person could have, once their funds were released, they could decide to redeploy all or some of that, okay? So let's go on to the 10,000. 10, and we'll do as Queen interrupted me and said 120, okay? Calculate. 4 months, $13,000 in profits. And at the end of that 4-month time frame, your 10,010 bucks is released. You can redeploy all or some of it or what have you. Now what I want to do is I want to take you inside. I've got the time to do so. Cool. I want to take you inside of, well, I want to try to take you inside of 2 accounts. So let me pause my screen here. This first account that I'm going to take you inside of is an account where the person has not done any recruiting. They give me, they allow me to do this for training measures. Okay. They've not done any recruiting, so they don't have any commissions. This is all earnings from the system. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down, and you'll see they have $13.09 in what's called the lending wallet. This has come from interest, and we'll show you how this works in just a few moments. All right. So I'm going to scroll down here, and we're going to go, and you can see I'm going to show you when they started and what their active investment is up to. You can see their active investment is $1,770. They didn't start with $1,770. I'm going to show you real quickly. They got started with this system back on back on July 23rd. Okay, so it hasn't been 2 months just yet. They got started with the system. They did the $1,010 lend. Okay, and look at what BitConnect, the coin, was going for back then. It was going for $64 a coin. So in less than 2 months, the BitConnect coin hasn't quite doubled, but you know, that's a healthy 80% on just the coin itself. Okay, so they're in the lending phase, and what happens is every time you see $10 in your lending wallet or more, and that $10 can come from your daily earnings, that can come from commissions, or a combination of the two, you can actually relent that. And you can see where they relent on the 24th, $10. And then they relent on the 26th, $20. You relent in $10 increments. So in this example, they have, whoops, give me a moment. I'm trying not to show anything overly sensitive. Bear with me. Now my system's acting up. Okay, there we go. All right, so they have $13.09 in their lending wallet. All right, so again, they authorized me to do this in their account. We're going to click where it says reinvest. We're going to click all, and it's going to relend in $10 increments. So it was $13.09. It's going to leave $3.09 left over. So they're now relending, reinvesting that $10. Okay. Now let me show you real quickly what has been happening for them. Okay. So you can see that they've done a number of relends. So every time they see $10 or more in their account, they will relend. They're in accumulation mode right now. Okay, they're in compounding mode right now. They've only been in the system for a couple of months. They have had no commit, not even a couple of months. It'll be a couple of months and a few more days. They've had no commissions. All right, because they haven't referred anybody. They're just lending and relending. They did the one-time $1,010 out of pocket. Everything else has come from the system in terms of interest. There are days, for instance, where they only earn 0.02%. Okay, and each of those lends and relends earns a little bit. But obviously, on a $20 relend at 0.02%, that wound up being zero that particular day. But as we start to scroll through, let's go on this day where the interest was 1.86% for the day. Each lend or relend has its own timestamp. So what happens is this $10 lend was done at 9:37 p.m. 24 hours later, they were paid their interest, and because this is under the $1,010 mark, they will earn on this particular $10 contract for 299 days. They'll earn on this $20 contract for 299 days. They'll earn on, let's find another number, this $40 contract for 299 days. They are now at the point, let me look at my notes, they are now at the point where they're getting more than 40 daily payments based on all of their lends and relends. They're averaging, on an average day, about $16.10 in interest earnings. When you multiply that out, that's just under $500 a month. In another couple of months, if they continue to compound, they should be at a point about 4 months or so in where just their interest on a monthly basis is $1,000 a month. And at that point, they may want to say, okay, well, let me take out 50%, put $500 a month in my pocket. They may take a portion of that $500 and steer it towards their coin portfolio or marketing or what have you. And so I wanted to show you an account that has had no impact of commissions, none whatsoever. Now, give me just a moment, and I'm going to log into another account. Neither of these accounts are mine. We've got folks that we've done business with for years and years and years, and so they trust us being able to go in their account for training purposes. And of course, I get permission to make a relend or what have you. Give me just a moment. Now, listen, outside of that, don't be giving folks access to your account, okay? All right, so bear with me. All right, so now in this account, you're seeing that the active balance is $12,680. What's interesting is that this person, they started off with a $100 funding, and then they came back and did $1,010 funding. They have not put any more of their own out-of-pocket money into the system. And let's see if real quickly we can see when they got started. Now, they have been, they've referred a few folks. They're not a huge referrer, okay? But they've referred a few folks who referred a few folks who referred a few folks. And there is a compensation element to this. Don't have time to cover the compensation. But here was their original lend way back on June the 28th. All right, here was $100 right here. And I was wrong, I said 1,010, they did 1,050. Here was 1,050, okay? But I want you to see all of these other relends that they've been doing. And a good amount of these relends have come from the fact that they've earned some commissions. So what happens is, as you build your network, we're going to help you build your network. Even if you suck at marketing right now, we're going to help you build your network so that other people join BitConnect through your link. We've got other auto digi profit systems that people will also join through your link so that you'll be able to develop multiple streams of income all in one place. If you're leveraging our CRB Digi Millionaire system for $1 for a 7-day test drive, $30 a month thereafter, as of October for new people, it'll be $49.95 a month. But if you're got our membership of $30 a month, before then you're grandfathered in at $30 a month. We reserve the right to always go up on that membership if we feel like the $49.95 is not a good amount for us to cover everything that we need to cover, but you will always be grandfathered in at whatever rate you're in. Let's say like $30 a month right now. Okay, now with this particular account, I want to show you one day. So let me pause the screen here. All right, so here's just an example. I'm not going to show, because they're now well up over, they're probably approaching 100 payments a day. Okay, they're probably approaching 100 payments a day. You know, this $10 lend at 1.86%. This $110 lend at 1.86%. This was a $1,430 lend. They got some commissions. They did a lend that was above the $1,010. So notice, you get the extra 0.10%, so they earn 1.96% just on that particular lend. Let me see my notes here. This particular account, their average daily earnings now is roughly $117 just from the interest, and that does not include their average daily commissions. Their average daily commissions are somewhere between about $50 to $70 a day. I'll lowball it there. All right, so they're earning about $167 a day between commissions and their average daily earnings, which puts them at about $5,000 a month. And they've only been in the system since June the 28th. It hasn't even been a full 90 days. Now, they will soon, they've taken out some funds, but they'll soon have a withdrawal strategy in earnest. As I've been talking with them, I can't advise you, but you know, if you're generating $5,000 a month, please take some out. Okay, take something out consistently. Maybe take out, you know, they want to grow their entire lend about to 50,000. Right now they're at 12,000. Okay, but maybe take out 25% a month or 50% a month or what have you, and use some of that to build your coin portfolio or to do some marketing and so on, and you know, to go to your family budget. If they took out 50%, that'd be $2,500 a month. And they're not some great recruiting guru. All right, they just referred a few that referred a few that referred a few. Now, if they take out half of this, let's say $2,500 a month, and let's say they put maybe they put $1,250 in their family's budget, and they've got another $1,250 now to do some marketing and some coin portfolio building. That's where we want to get you to, okay? That's where we want to get you to, where you have you're able, and we'll finish with this. Here's what we want to get you to. My son is very loud downstairs. I hope you don't hear him. We want to get you to where you've got a meaningful monthly cash flow. You have a monthly coin portfolio budget. And you have a monthly marketing budget, which is just going to get more traffic, more eyes to your offer, get more people joining you, get you earning more commissions, so that you can generate more monthly cash flow, have a bigger coin portfolio budget, a bigger marketing budget, and you just rinse and repeat, so that now you make more money with the auto DIGI profit systems, which gives you more monthly cash flow, more money for your coin portfolio budget, and more money for your monthly marketing budget. All right, we're at our time, ladies and gentlemen, and you have been absolutely amazing. What is your call to action? You're going to get back to the person that referred you to tonight's webinar, and you're going to say, give me your CRB DIGI Millionaires link. I've got to be on that next trading lab. As a matter of fact, I'd like to be able to come in and even watch the last one that was posted. Got to be on that next trading lab, but I need to be a CRB DIGI Millionaire. Take our test drive for $1. Okay, and that'll give you a 7-day test drive of our system. Thereafter, since you would be doing this before our price increase at $49.95, you will have your monthly subscription for just $30 a month. Now, keep in mind that when we first built this portal, it was to promote something that was not in the DIGI space, because we were not immersed in the DIGI space at that time. It was an advertising offer. Right now, our 100% focus is on the DIGI space. That's where the CRB comes from, the advertising offer. We are still revamping the portal, so you still might see some references to Click, Rank, and Bank or what have you, but it is the same portal, CRB DIGI Millionaires, and we are revamping that as we speak. If you want to come into the trading labs, you want to come under the DIGI Trading Lab tab. You can take a look at the the last lab that we just did. What did we recommend? What are our buy prices that we're going into those DIGI assets? And before you come to a trading lab, we strongly suggest that you go through our trading lab pre-training. So we'll have that trading lab on this coming Thursday. So get their CRB DIGI Millionaire link, 1. Number 2, ask them for their BitConnect link. Register with BitConnect for free. Then come inside of CRB DIGI Millionaires, and under DIGI Vault, you're going to see where it says BitConnect. Go through that training. We'll show you how to fund your account so that you can make your first lend. Even if you don't even know how to go from cash to Bitcoin, we'll show you how to do all that good stuff. Just come into our system. I'm going to stop now. This is a great place for you to start putting in questions. We're going to take about 15 minutes to do some optional Q&A. So Queen's going to be taking a look at those questions, asking those questions, and then we'll answer as many as we can in the next 15 minutes.